Okay, here we go, guys. All right, this is going to be a little interesting, so stay with me, okay? All right, so we're going to be doing congruence and similarity. 12.5 congruence and similarity. Okay? All right, here we go. Y'all ready? All right, congruent polygons. Okay, congruent. You got to remember what congruent means. Congruent is the same. It's equal. They have same size and same shape. They are the same. The symbol looks like this. Okay, that means congruent. Okay, for example, now I've been told again that I go a little slow, and y'all complain about it takes hours and this and that. That was when I wasn't writing. So I'm going to draw fast, but my pictures are going to look stupid, so just bear with me. All right, so here we go. And by the way, it's hot with this hat on, just so y'all know. But it's okay. It's like my thinking cap. My thinking cap. Okay, here we go. It's not doing very well right now. I'm having trouble thinking. I can hear a chap saying, "Get on with it, Mrs. Rogers." And Morgan rolling her eyes. And then Miranda's taking up for me because she knows I'm funny. Anyway, here we go. These are supposed to be the same. Almost looks like jack-o'-lantern eyes. Okay. So A, C, and B, triangle, A, B, C. A, B, C is congruent to triangle D, E, F. Okay? Notice that they match up. A and D are the same angle. I'm going to say B and E are the same. So therefore they should line up when you list them. If these were the same, and those lines denote what they're equal to, if C and F are the same, then they should be listed the same. So A and D are equal. So notice when listing, they're first, they're together. B and E are equal, so it's together. C and F are equal, and they're together. Let's say this line and this line are the same. And this line and this line are the same, and these are the same. That's a congruent. Those triangles are congruent. They're identical. Nothing's different. The sides are the same. You know, they correspond. These angles same, etc. So basically this is saying angle A is equal to angle D. Angle B is equal to angle E. Angle C is equal to angle F. They have corresponding angles. They have the same, it means they have the same measure. Like if this was 30 degrees, this was 30 degrees. If this was 25 degrees, that one would be 25 degrees, etc. AB is equal to DE. AB, that means line or side, not line, side AB and side DE are equal. Side BC is equal to side EF. And again, list those letters together that are equal. B and E, and then the second would be C and F. See? Get it? C. Okay. I know y'all missed that. All right, side AC is equal to side DF. You can pause this and look and understand what I'm doing here. This means that corresponding, they have their corresponding sides, they have the same length. That's congruent triangles. When writing triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, you must, and the sixth graders really had trouble with this when they learned it, you must list, I don't know why I have a comma there, the vertices, which is your letters, of each triangle's corresponding angles in the same order. Always, always, always. Got it, guys? Y'all know y'all want to pet the hat. It's so soft. Okay. All right. Next, similar polygons. You just got through learning congruent polygons. Now we're learning about similar polygons. Okay? They have the same shape, but not really same size. That symbol looks like this. Angles, not angels. Some of y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all been texting me angels and not angles. Angles, I won't call anyone out, Sydney. Angles will be congruent. The angles will be congruent, okay? Angles will be congruent. That means the same, guys. That means congruent means the same. Sides will be proportional. Basically, we're talking about scale factor. They'll be scaled down. They'll be kind of equal, but they're going to be more like proportional. We're going to be doing the fraction is equal to this, you know, possibly doing some cross multiplying and stuff like that. So it's going to be similar to that, okay? Proportional. They're not going to be identical. All right, let's keep moving. Like I said, I got a lot, and I want to get done because this hat is hot. Okay, so for example, let's say I have this lovely triangle. Oh man, that's terrible. And then I have another one. Okay? And they're supposed to look identical, just one's going to be bigger than the other. That's similar, okay? Let's say it's A, B, C, and D, E, F. All right, this angle, I'll use red. This angle is equal to that angle. This angle is equal to that angle. See, the angles are still the same, whether they're congruent triangles or similar triangles. The angle measures do not change. Just the sides do. That's it. So if all the angles are congruent here, but the sides are different, that makes it similar. So let's say this side is 6, the measure 6, and this one's 12, and this one's 9. This one's 4, this one's 6, and this one's 8. Okay? Now, to check to see if it's similar, they'll have the same scale factor. Is that mine? Uh-oh. Got me a drink. Thank you. That's good. Okay. So to find out they're similar, they should have the same scale factor or ratio. Okay, so let's test that out. AB, this line right here, or this side, not line. AB, side AB, what is it corresponding with? That's right, it's corresponding with this one, right? Right? So then I'm going to put the big one on top, small triangle on bottom. Okay? Remember, this one's from the big triangle. I'll put a B here for big. This is for S for small. Corresponding have to go together. So the measurement for AB is 6, and the measurement for DE is 4. If we reduce that, we get 3/2. Now this is scale and ratio. We do not change it to a mixed number. No, 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 no. 6th grade was doing the same thing. So the scale for those two sides is 3/2. Now let's compare AC, side AC, and which one would it correspond with? DF. So these two sides correspond with each other. They're not identical because this one's 12, this one's 8, but they correspond. So this would be D and F. Okay, so AC is 12, DF is 8. If you reduce that, put it in lowest terms, you get 3/2. Same scale. Let's try the last one. BC corresponds with this side, right? Notice I'm putting the large on top and the small on bottom. They have to be proportionate. They have to be, correspond with each other. You have to set them up together like that. Okay, so BC is 9. EF is 6. If you reduce that, you have 3/2. There you go. So these two triangles have been proven to be similar. Not congruent, obviously, by looking at it, but because of the scales all being the same, it is similar. So the scale factor for triangle ABC, which is similar to DEF, is 3/2, or you could say 3/2. Okay, that's for scale. All right. Let's do another one. Example. Let's say you're given triangle RST is similar to triangle XYZ. Let's say and they tell you RS, side RS is 9, side RT is 18, side XY we don't know, and side XZ is 12. Okay, we got to find what the measurement is for XY. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. So step 1, draw a picture. Nice and easy there, right? I gotta make sure I have plenty of room for the next step. Now we know that one's going to be a little bit, because these have smaller numbers, we know this one's going to be a little bit smaller. So first triangle is RST. So I have R, S, and T. And the next one is X, Y, Z. And you must list it just like the other one. If you get these letters confused, So R and X are the same. So we're going to do that. S and Y are the same, so I'm going to do this because they're the same. And then T and Z are the same, so I'm going to do 3 marks. They said that RS is 9. RT is 18. We don't know what XY is. That's our question mark. And XZ, that's a question mark. XZ is 12. Okay, so there it's starting to take shape as to what you do. All right, step 2, set sides proportional. In other words, they are going to look like fractions, kind of like what I showed you a while ago. So, right here we have RS, side RS. Now, what side does it correspond with over here? This side RS corresponds with XY. So I'm going to put XY below it. Equals, remember proportion is 2 fractions with an equal sign. Okay, the next one is RT. The big triangle stuff needs to go on top. Small on bottom. If you put big on top over here, then you better put big over here as well. The big triangle. And then small is going to go down here. Small triangle. So RT, side RT, corresponds with which side over here? XZ. That's right. Okay, what is RS? RS is 9. What is XY? We don't know what it is, so let's pick a letter to represent the unknown. We can say N. What is RT? 18. XZ is 12. Now what do we do? You're right. Cross multiply. 9 times 12 is 108. N times 18 is 18N. So 108 equals 18N. Now what do I do? Isolate the variable. We're going to divide both sides by 18. So we end up with 108 divided by 18 is 6. So 6 equals N. So this side right here is going to be 6. Okay, so one thing you need to be careful with, I think y'all got this, but notice how it's listed. I'm choosing this side to go first. You always have to have at least one that has a measurement, and then you can compare it with one that does and does not. But this side corresponds with this side. Big on top, small on the bottom. What you put over here has to coincide with that. You can't put the small on top and then the big on the bottom. You can't switch it. If you put big on top here, you need to put the big one on top here. So RT corresponds with XZ. Okay? Then you put down the measurements, isolate the variable, and you get your missing thing. Okay, let's start doing examples. So open your books to examples on page 517. Okay, the first section says given triangle congruent statements, complete the following statements of congruence of corresponding parts. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so 2 says if triangle TAC is congruent, that means the exact same, to triangle EDV, then angle C is congruent to which angle? So if these are the same, remember how I said they had to be lined up the same? What letter over here corresponds and is congruent to C? V. See, T is the same with E. A is congruent and corresponds with D. So C, because of the way it's listed, is the same with V. It's congruent. And you need to have your little angle symbol. All right, let's do 4. If triangle NML is congruent to triangle AXK, then angle M is congruent to what angle? Well, here's angle M. So what letter goes with M? It's in the middle, right? So then the middle one over here is the one that's congruent with. So it's X. Angle X. See, over here, C was the last letter, so it's congruent with the last letter over here. That's why they have to be lined up perfectly. All right, 6. Triangle RPQ is congruent to triangle HCL. Then side RP is congruent to what side? So look at how they're listed. R and P are the first 2 listed. Therefore, the first 2 listed over here will be the congruent side, HC. There you go. Side RP is congruent to side HC. Side RP and HC. All right, let's look at 8. Oh, I'm going to do that now a little bit. Okay, so the next group, it says given triangle similarity statements, complete the following statements of congruence or corresponding to blah, 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 blah. Okay, so 8 says triangle D, X, and P are similar. Remember, that means if it's similar, the angles are the same, but the sides are not. To triangle MFZ. If these 2 triangles are similar, then, let's see, how's it look? DX corresponds with MF. So side DX corresponds with side MF, because see how they're listed, the first two. Doesn't mean they're identical, but that's what they correspond with. And DP corresponds with what? Well, side D and P. Side D and P. First and last letter, so then first and last over here are going to be your corresponding sides. So there's your answer. Okay. We're going to skip 10 because I think y'all know that. So let's look at 12. Okay, this one says find the corresponding parts of the following. Okay, so 12 says angle C. So what angle is it corresponding with? Look at your drawings. You need to look at the drawings. I cannot show you, but look in your book And you'll see right above 12 and 13, right above 12 and 13, and even part of 14, you'll see two triangles. That's what we're looking at. So what angle does C correspond with? Angle D. You got to see that. Okay, 14. Angle F. What does it correspond with? What angle? This is going to be a hard one. Angle F corresponds with angle A. Okay, if you did not get that, then you need to pause the video and look to see why A corresponds with F. You'll see it. The two triangles are like, instead of being like this, they're flipped. Okay? So like here and here would be the same. So they're flipped like a mirror. Okay? So check to see why F and A correspond with each other. All right, let's look at 16. 16 is dealing with the other two triangles in that picture. Okay, RTS and VWU. All right, so 16 wants to know the corresponding side. Okay, corresponding side. So TS would correspond with what other side? WU. Y'all see that? Okay, we're going to go straight to number 20. And I've got 20 and then 22 to do, and then I'm setting you free. All right, so we're skipping 18. Okay, so 20 says, use proportions to find the missing links. Round answers to the nearest tenth. I'm not going to take off if you forget to round to the nearest tenth, because all I want to know right now is, do you know how to do proportions? Do you know how to find the missing side? If you can find that, then you're good to go. You know what you're doing. You might have just forgotten that 1 second part of the instructions. I'm not taking off. Okay. So 20, we're going to solve for X and Y. I'm going to go ahead and draw the pictures. I'm going to go to another page because it's kind of long, especially since I'm drawing pictures. All right, you can see it in your book, but I'm going to draw it out so I can make reference to it. A lot of y'all are visual. I am too. So I have A, B, and C. And this is X. And this is 12. This is 10. And then a similar triangle right next to it. And that would be D, E, and F. And we have Y here. And then 4 and 6. Okay, so we got to find what X and Y is. That's a two-step problem. You're going to be working this out 2 times. All right, so first, let's solve for X first. We're going to solve for X first. You could do Y first if you wanted to, but I'm choosing to do X because I'm a teacher. Now remember, with this, when it says solve by using proportions, remember what that means. Proportions, we're talking about, it's going to look like fractions. They're going to be equal to each other. Well, don't worry about it. It's going to look like this, remember? Okay, and then we cross multiply. All right, so let's solve for X. First thing you need to do is find a side on both triangles that have a measurement. These two sides that correspond, there's a Y there. You can't use those because they both don't have measurement. We're solving for X, okay, but the side we're going to compare it to are these two sides because they have measurement. So let's get started. We're looking for X, so I'm going to have A, B first. Remember, big on top. I didn't even write that. Big triangle on top. It corresponds with this side here. So AB on top, DE on the bottom. Now, the fraction that's going to go up against is going to be these two sides because they have a measurement in place. So we're going to compare them to that. Remember that scale stuff we did? So we're going to, again, if we have large on top, I'm putting large again on top over here, BC. So then down here, I'm putting the corresponding side, EF. Okay, so take a look at that. AB and DE are going to be here. BC and EF are going to be the second fraction. They have measurement, so we're comparing this to the ones that have measurement. All right, so let's write it down. AB is X. DE is 4. BC is 12. And EF is 6. Now we cross multiply. 6 times X is 6X. 4 times 12 is 48. So 6X equals 48. All right, we got to isolate that variable. That's doing that intruder alert I taught you. If you're multiplying, the opposite is dividing. So we're dividing both sides by 6. So 6's cancel out, and I'm left with X equals 8. Okay, so now we know X is 8. Okay, now we have to solve for Y. So you're going to have two answers in this section. Y'all hear what I just said? Two answers in this section. Okay, so now we're going to solve for Y. All right, so what two sides, here's Y, what other side does it correspond with? This one. These two sides correspond with each other. I'm going to put the large on top, so AC and DF. Setting up my proportion. Now again, we're going to go back to these two sides because they already have their measurements. Okay? So again, BC is going to be on top because we are sticking with large on top. And then on the bottom is a smaller triangle, E and F. See? E and F. Let's see. There we go. Y'all see why I did that? Run out of space there. Okay, I think y'all get it. So we're trying to find Y, so these two sides correspond, and I wrote large on top and small on the bottom. And then we have to do a proportional, to get that scale, whatever, to find it. So we're using these two sides because they already have a measurement. Large on top, small on the bottom. All right, AC is 10. DF is Y. BC is 12. And EF is 6. All right, I'm going to do my cross multiplying. And I get 60, over here, and 12Y over here. So 60 equals 12Y. Now we have to cancel. And 60 divided by 12 is 5. So 5 equals Y. There's your two answers. Okay? All right. Last one I'm doing. Number 22. All right, 22. I have a triangle that looks like this and a smaller triangle that looks like this. Okay, so I have A, B, and C, and then D, E, and F. Okay, and I'm going by your book. So here's X, here's 9, and here's 15. Now I'm going to move a little faster on this one. So if you have to pause the video, you do that. 3 and then Y. Okay, so we're going to solve for X first. All right, so this side is going to be on top. It's large. What side does it correspond on the small one? This side right here. So D and E. And my proportion, which two sides already have a measurement that we can compare it to? These two bottom ones. Can't do 15 and y because y is not a measurement. So we have to use the 9 and the 3. So AC goes on top because it's large. DF goes on the bottom because it's small. All right, plug in your information. AB is X. DE is 4. AC is 9. And DF is 3. All right, cross multiply. 3 times X is 3X. 4 times 9 is what? 36. 3X equals 36. Divide both sides by 3. And I get X equals 12. Okay, we got X. Let's go for Y. So now we're going to solve for Y. Okay, so what side does Y correspond with? That's right, BC. So we're going to put BC, whoops, you can't see it, BC on top because it's large, and EF on the bottom because that's our Y. That's what it corresponds with, BC and EF. And we're going to use these two down here again because they have the measurement. AC is large, so it's going on top. DF is small, it goes on the bottom. All right, BC is 15. EF is Y. AC is 9. And DF is 3. Cross multiply. Y times 9 is 9Y. 15 times 3 is 45. So I have 45 equals 9Y. Isolate the variable, divide by 9. Those cancel out. 45 divided by 9 is 5. So 5 equals Y. It's okay. You can do Y equals 5 or 5 equals Y. It doesn't matter. All right, so you have your 2. I'm going to set you free. You're going to do page 517 to 5. I think I'm just going to have you do 517. I don't know yet. So you're going to do 1 through 17 odd. Then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to do 21 to 27 odd. Okay, whoops. 1 through 17 odd, 21 through 27 odd. Due Friday. Okay? You have a test on Wednesday. And I am assigning IXL to help you out. I just don't know when it's going to be due, but you'll be getting a notification real soon. All right? Okay, take care. Bye-bye.